at-home professional style dermaplaning. If this is something that you have been interested in doing or having done, this is the video that you're going to want to watch. Now, I am not a licensed esthetician, but I have had many of these procedures done. I've spent a fair amount of my own income on having these procedures done, and I've consulted with many professionals in the field with the best safety practices in order for you to be able to do this at home. But of course, contact and talk to your own esthetician if you are worried or you would like a little bit more information. Let's talk about dermaplaning, which is also known as face shaving. The average cost of this is between $100 to $150, and you typically have to get it done every 3 to 4 weeks in order to maintain the results. Now, why is it good? So really what dermaplaning does is exfoliates your face, but also it removes all of the little peach fuzz or darker hair that you have on your face. It helps to get your makeup to go on smooth. It also improves the quality and the effectiveness of the skincare that you are doing each day and night, because that type of stuff gets better, gets closer and better to your skin in order to absorb in versus sometimes getting soaked up by your peach fuzz or your hair follicles. Plus, your makeup just goes on so much better looking. You can do this at home, and I believe you can do this at home with a few safety precautions and treating your face just like an esthetician would. That's really our goal with this series of products. So what I do here when I talk about at-home clinic grade skincare is teach you how to do procedures that you would get done in office at a fraction of the cost. So let's go ahead and get started with what we need to do in order to do this safely at home. All of the tools that we are going to be using are going to be listed in my caption below, but let's go through all of them and walk through the safety tip so that you can have the best outcome possible. First of all, what I would say is make sure that your hair is completely pulled back. While I have this done, it's like completely slicked back. You don't want to have any of your hair that you're not wanting to shave off in the way. And the other thing I would highly recommend is that you do this when you have a lot of time to go slow and use precaution, because we are going to be using surgical grade razor blades. So you really want to have the time that you're not being rushed through this. If you're trying to do a really quick touch up, maybe go and use some of the safety razors if that's something that you're trying to do in a bit of a hurry. This method you need to have time to do. To start with, I have a clean, dry face, and I am going to be using gloves, and we are also going to be using alcohol wipes before we get started. These are stainless steel surgical blades, so these are also listed down below. I'm going to be using a new one for every time that I dermaplane my face, because we want to make sure that there is no bacteria, that there is nothing that we are putting onto our skin when we are doing some razor shaving. The other thing that I really like is a disposable blade remover. This helps you to take this blade off without the risk of cutting yourself, and it is the most sanitary way to dispose of your blades, because we're going to be doing that after every face shaving. So this one you can see is a clean blade. I went ahead and put it on to my handle itself and kept it in there so that we weren't touching it before we go ahead and do our face shaving. So first things first, I'm gonna go wash my hands and I will come back. Okay, I'm back. Now that my hands are clean, I have on my gloves and I'm opening up my alcohol prep pad, and I'm going to wipe off my entire face. Now, alcohol is strong. Try not to breathe while you're doing it, because it definitely is strong and it will, like I said. But it is what it is, because you do want to make sure that your face is all prepped just like an esthetician would be treating your skin for this process in office. And that's my goal with this series, is clinic grade skin treatments at home. Okay, now that that's done, I'm gonna put that to the side. I'm going to pull out and remove my razor blade. Now the razor blades that I like are a number 14, and the reason I prefer these is they're a little bit safer in doing it. You can see how it's rounded here. A lot of the other ones are very pointed and pokey, and I find that it's a lot easier for me to cut myself if I'm doing that. So the other thing that you want to know when you're doing this is we do want to hold our skin a little bit taut, and we want to be doing this at a 45-degree angle. So like you're holding your blade at a 45-degree angle. If you were to look at a clock, it would be kind of at about 2 o'clock. So you've got 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, holding your blade in that direction. And I'm going to start with this area of my face because I always feel like that's where I have the most peach fuzz. And what I want to do is kind of hold my skin a little bit taut, and I want to slowly start going down my face and jawline again, holding it at that angle and going very, very slow. These are very sharp. You can see the peach fuzz that I have on there. And I also have this towel that I keep to the side that is also a clean, sanitized towel so that I can wipe off the peach fuzz as I continue to go down my face. Now don't go quickly, you don't want to go too fast. This is all about taking your time and getting a really good shave and removing all of that peach fuzz. One of the areas that I find to be like an area that I always like to go the slowest is around my mouth, and I want to pull that very tightly and just be like short little movements. Now you're going to go ahead and do your whole face, which I won't do on camera for the entire thing because like I said, I do take my time. I am very thorough and I'm very thorough. I'm very thorough and I'm targeted very much to the areas that I notice a lot more hair on my face so that I can be very slow and methodical to decrease any chance of cutting myself. And even if you do cut yourself, I mean, it's not that bad. Guys cut themselves with their safety razors every day. It's really not that bad, but you just want to go as slow as humanly possible to make sure that you're doing a very, very good job because I want all the exfoliating benefits and I want to make sure that all the hair is removed off of my face. So I'm going to go ahead and do my entire process and then I'll come back here in the end and I will show you the best way to finish off your skin. When you're going around your eyebrows, just be very careful that you just go right up to it and not cut through it. I find my forehead to be the area where I tend to cut myself the most, so I try very, very carefully. I try very, very hard to go, again, really slow and stay at the right angle, just very consciously so that I don't cut myself. If you notice, I did nick myself right here. So it happens, but you can see it's not really that big of a deal. I just kind of let it do its thing and then I'll wipe it off when I'm completely done, but it's really not that big of a deal. So I start at the top of my forehead keeping that angle, and I just follow myself down and just go very, very slowly. Wipe off my blade, and then I go to the next spot. So now that I am completely finished with that, even though I did get a tiny little nick, but I guess that's good TV, so then you guys could see it for yourself. But the reason I choose to do it with this versus something like this, which I'm sure you guys have all seen, these tend to not be as sharp. They rip up your skin, and oftentimes I hear women talk about, well, I break out when I do dermaplaning, and often it's because of these. They just hold a lot of bacteria, and they're just not as sharp. So in my opinion, I would prefer to save my money on some of the things that I can do in a pro result versus stuff that I would need, like a laser machine for doing things like the PicoSure or the CO2, just different things like that I would rather spend my money on when I can save a buck or two and do my dermaplaning in my own environment. One thing I meant to show you guys was how easy it is to remove your blade. So I had my blade on this already, but you stick it inside of here, you press down on this and you pull out, and then your blade is inside of here ready to dispose of without you running the risk of cutting yourself. Because if you try to pull it off this way, it can get very, very dicey and cut your pretty little fingers. So anyways, this is a must. All of the products that I used are listed below. Last thing that I would do to finish off my face, I'm going to top my skin with just a serum or an oil, something that you prefer, whatever you like. I'm just gonna put a little bit of that on here and press it into my skin. And just like that, I have perfectly smooth skin, just like they would do in a professional office. And I've done it safely at home for the cost of about $2. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of estheticians that are going to say this has to be done in a professional environment. And for sure, if that is something that you have the means to do, then go for it. Why not? But if you don't, and you feel like this is something that you can master at home by going slowly and having the proper tools, I have found this to be ultra successful for me, and I absolutely love how it works and turns out. All right, guys, if you would like to learn more about my clinic grade skin treatments at home, I have a microneedling video that is up, which is not done with a micro roller, so those are a no-no. And I also have a video on LED light therapy, so go ahead and check those out. I will be making more of these at home clinic grade skincare for you guys to save a buck or two and have really pretty skin for years to come. So again, subscribe to my channel. My name's Amanda. I got more of my beauty and makeup videos for women over 40 as well. Love you, bye.